Welcome to Backstage with Becca Beat with special guest Nick Adams. Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Backstage with Becca Beat. On this episode, he's currently playing Cinderella's Prince and the Wolf in Into the Woods at Cape Playhouse. Throughout his career, he's appeared in Broadway productions and tours, including Chicago, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Wicked, Falsettos, La Cage aux Folles, and more. Most recently, he starred in Drag the Musical. Please welcome Nick Adams. So, first of all, how are you today? How is everything? You're currently in Massachusetts doing this production at Cape Playhouse.
Yeah, it's great. I love Cape Cod, and it's my first time working at Cape Playhouse. I saw a play. I saw Noises Off here maybe like 3 years ago, um, or maybe longer than that. But so I've seen something at the Playhouse before, but my first time working out here, and it's like basically like being on summer vacation. It's a kind of like summer camp for adults, and then we do a show at night, which is great. I spent the last 2 days at the beach. My partner was just here visiting from Boston, and yeah, it's been really good.
I mean, in like a stunning setting in Massachusetts, how like it's very lucky, I feel like. Very lucky
Yeah,
setting because
yeah,
I just hear great things about Massachusetts all the time. I've
yes.
never been, and I'm like, how have I never been?
I love New England. I went to school in Boston, so I'm familiar with the energy of like, the coastal New England vibe. And I just love it. I love the ocean. There's lakes here too. Like it's just if you get me near water and a beach, I'm happy. So it's the best of both. We get to perform and like relax a lot. So
Yes,
yeah.
love that's amazing. It's like
Hmm.
the scenery and performing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So, have you always known that you wanted to be a theater performer? And like, when was the moment that you realized that like you could do this professionally? Because you've been in so much over the
Thanks.
years. It's
Yeah.
insane. Your resume is insane.
Thank you. Um, I grew up in Pennsylvania in a small town, and I found my way to theater when I was like 9 years old, and um, I went to go see a show on New Year's Eve. It was like a musical review type of thing, and I just I remember it was sort of like a watershed moment of like the discovery of it, and I felt so excited and alive. And my mom was like, I don't, she had never seen me respond to something like that. And so I told her, like, I turned to her, I was like, I want to do that. And then within like a week, I had an audition for their next youth production, um, and then I just got involved there, and I started doing show after show after show, and grew up like loving performing. And
Yeah.
I guess like in high school was when I was like, oh, I can do this for a living. I think my first trip to New York, I was 15 to go see Broadway, and I saw Chicago and Cabaret at the time, and I was like, yeah, I want to do this. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I somehow want to make that happen. Um, and so I guess that was like that was probably once I fully got to like understand what it was and the scope of it and everything, the magnitude of Broadway, and so when I decided I wanted to try to pursue it and study it and um, make my life, all about it. But um, yeah, then I just never looked back.
Well, and you have a huge full circle moment too
Yeah,
with Chicago. So,
I know it's crazy that that was my first trip to the city, my first Broadway show to see, and then I made my Broadway. That was my first Broadway credit was Chicago, which is just nuts.
that's amazing. Did you like when you went to see
Yeah,
this, did you like manifest it? You're like, I'm gonna be in that show.
I mean, Chicago the musical to me is like damn near perfect. It's one of my favorite shows ever. And I was obsessed with it like right when it opened, I think I saw it in like 95, 6 or 7 or something, like right at the very kind of the beginning of its run. And so I just loved it. I love, and Cabaret also a Cantor Deb show. So I was really into Cantor Deb. And I remember buying the show poster and having it in like my bedroom, and then I took it to college with me, and it was in my dorm room, like signed by the cast. I waited at the stage door, I had it signed. So I think I just sort of was like secreting and like manifesting it without that language around it. I just was like, I'm gonna do this somehow. This was my
Yeah.
inspiration to like make it. And then, it was also wild. Like my first week in the city after I graduated school, I got an appointment to audition for Chicago, but within a week. And I had an audition on Thursday, a call back at the Ambassador on Friday, and then on Monday I got a phone call that I got the job. So it was like
Go
the
on.
most insane story of being like in the right place at the right time, being prepared for it. And yeah, I mean, I just remember thinking like, how did this happen? I remember sitting in that audience thinking, this is so unattainable. It just seems so like the magic of it all seemed so like far off, like such a dream that it was. Yeah, it still kind of blows my mind that that happened the way it did. But here we are, and the
Well,
show is still
and
running.
right. I was gonna say you
Yeah,
must be like so happy seeing the resurgence of the show too.
yeah.
Coming about.
I love that watching it over the years. It's like, God bless the Weislers. They just have made it like this vehicle for stars to come in and out of, and it's kept it afloat. And it is just a great show. And I'm happy that it, is like, especially the Tonys this year. It had such a great showing with Pink and everything. It was magnificent, and I was so happy for it. And I'm honored to be a part of the legacy of it. And there's that recently they painted in that back alleyway that on the like where the stage door is to go into the theater. They painted names of every alumni on the wall, and my to see my name up there with everybody was just sort of like a really cool moment to look back and be like, oh my God, that's part of like I can't believe that I'm part of the history of the show, and that's also part of my history. So it's pretty cool.
I mean, I can believe it because you're very, very talented. Can you like pinpoint the people that you saw in the cast when you first saw the show, like still?
Yes, I think her name was Mona Duncan Gibbs. It was in the ensemble. Uh, I mean, BB Newirth was in it. Um, Karen Ziemba. I was like obsessed with them. And so like when I've met Karen after, I've like told her like you changed my life. I wanted to be you growing up.
Oh
um, yeah, I mean, and I got to do it with some really great people too. I did it with Tom Wopat. I did it with Rita Wilson.
my
Um,
gosh.
uh, yeah, man, it was such a time, and so many celebrities in it, come in and out of it. But
Yeah.
it was some of the people, and they didn't love hearing this, but some people were still in it from when I had seen it as a kid when I joined. And of course, I was like, I saw you in this when I was 15. And they were like, yeah, yeah, okay, kid.
Yes.
Now I
Wait,
understand why they rolled their eyes at me. But at the time, I was just like, excited to be there and
but that's so sweet. I
green.
feel like
Yeah,
that's like, oh, that's like, oh, I would be just like so thrilled watching someone succeed in front of me who had like come to see the show
yeah,
before and like, yeah, that'd be
yeah,
a really cool moment.
yeah.
So you mentioned Boston Conservatory. What were some of
Yes.
the biggest lessons that you took away from your training there that you
Ooh.
still use today?
One thing that I often will say when I teach, that sticks with me. I had a really great teacher named Kathy Rand. Was that structure frees creativity, and I still try to practice that every time I approach a show now. Is to like really learn the material, like learn it word for word, note for note, what's on the page, and then you can take liberties from there to create and imagine like who this person is and bring it to life. But to really like learn the material that's been written for you. Um, because the structure of it allows you then you can then play in the world after you know what it is exactly. So
Yeah.
I say structure breeds creativity, and also practice makes permanent. So um, if you put in the work, the work and the work ethic, like you will reap the benefits. And I think that's something that I learned at school. And if you're practicing like half-assing things and like not fully committing, head to toe commitment, then also that becomes permanent and that becomes your approach to things. So those are two big takeaways for me that I had learned at school. And I kind of like really honed myself as a dancer because I started my career mostly as a dancer when I moved to the city. And so I feel like I owe those 4 years um, really like an incubation period for me to grow and get technique. And I did a dance minor while I was there just to kind of get caught up because I started dancing late as a teen. And I loved it. I had a natural disposition for it, but I wanted to be good at everything. And so I was like, let me just try to be like a triple threat and as well rounded as possible. And I think that school really helped me at the time. It was like I mean, I graduated in 2005. So at the time, it was one of like the very premier programs. It was like with Michigan and CCM and NYU, I think were like the top at the time. It's like they fluctuate all the time depending on how many kids are working, whatever. But at the moment, it had like a really big um, sort of pedigree, and so I was very excited to go there. And uh, yeah, I also loved Boston. It was like a great stepping stone city from growing up in Pennsylvania before moving to New York. So I got to develop as a human being there before I was sort of overwhelmed with the electricity of New York City and all of that.
All of
Yeah,
all of the rent prices in New York City.
yeah, yeah,
All that
yeah,
fun stuff.
yeah.
But it's such a beautiful city, so
It is. It
it's
is an abusive relationship. It's like when it's great, it's great. When it's bad, it's the most challenging place on earth. But it's so fun. It's home. It's been my home for over 20 years. So
yeah, I mean, I was just there last week in New York, and I'm like, you can like spend a week in the city and still leave feeling like you didn't do enough.
yeah, yep,
It's crazy.
yeah.
Insane. And I'm curious, so what is a show in your like early career post graduating college that is one of your favorites still to this day, like ex favorite experiences to this day?
I mean, they all represent such specific chapters and such amazing moments and sort of milestones in their own right. Um, I mean, when I think back on all of them, each one of them makes me nostalgic and like wistful and and emotional because they all hold such special things. The people that I worked with, the people that I met, like good friends that I made, people that I miss that I don't see often, challenges, to grow. I've grown so much on each one. They've each taught me something new. But like, obviously, for Chicago to be my first show and not having that be the first Broadway show I saw was just like I'll never forget what that felt like. Um, and also, a chorus line was a really big one for me because a chorus line was my like introduction to musical theater period as a child. I saw the movie first and then I saw a tour of it come through Erie where I'm from and
Oh,
um
it is.
I was like this is like what an audition is like. I mean this is what dancers go through. Like there was something about it that just made me want to do it. And I never thought that it would be in New York at a time when I was old enough to
Same.
do it, or I'd be too old. Like I was like, if it ever gets revived, it'll probably miss the window, or I won't be able to dance it anymore, or something. So when it happened, I'll never forget like that having a callback. My like final callback was at the Schoenfeld on the stage, and then like 10 minutes after I left, I got like the casting director called me personally on my cell phone to tell me I booked it. It was just like those special moments like that are I don't know if they
Yes.
like happen like that anymore. You don't like go to the theater for callbacks like you did with like all the dancers on like
It's
those are of a different
different.
time. So I'm glad that I got those moments. But like Priscilla Queen of the Desert for me is a game
Yes.
changer. It changed my life. It was like my first time getting to originate and star in something, and I met my partner on that show, and it probably was like the most fun musical I've ever done because it just was so over the top and celebratory and queer and
Yes.
like my first entrance, I got lowered into the stage at the Palace, like on a giant dollar sign. I mean, it's just things that, and I
That's
flew
so
out over the audience in a giant shoe. I mean, there was just a crazy things that I don't think I'll ever get to like top that. Um, but then like I got to do Wicked, I got to play Fiyero. Like those are,
Right.
Falsettos is like I fell in love with in Chicago, or sorry, I
Oh,
fell in love with in Boston when I was a student.
so
Um, I fell in love with that show and sang songs from it in my like voice recitals and hope someday I'd get to see it or something. I didn't even think I'd ever be in it, but so that was a big one for me because that was a big turning point in for me to be sort of doing something that was really actor forward,
oh my
you
God. Yeah.
know,
I was sobbing.
and with Max von Essen and Ines Spinoza and Nick Blaemire, like it was such a phenomenal cast, and we were so close and felt so safe with each other. Like I've never been more proud of the work I put into it and the work I did on stage than I think in that show. Um, so that's a long-winded answer for what your question was, but I think I don't know. They all hold something special. Like Lacage
Yeah.
was amazing. We won Best Revival, and the Tonys were so celebratory, and um, my parents came to the Tonys that year, and so I to get to be at the party and be like, we won. Like all of those things were just so big, big life moments.
Yeah,
Um, but Priscilla was, I'll always have that. Like like
the
we'll
original.
always the original company and getting to do that at the Palace Theater and meeting Kyle, my fiance, like on that show. It's all I don't know if like I will ever top that moment. It just was so, it was on the billboard in Times Square. Like all those big, huge things are just um, summed up in one experience. So I don't know if that's probably the one like that I would
Yes.
would would say is the most life changing of them all. But
How
uh,
did you go about like originating the characters in the show?
well, I was actually okay. So I was doing Lacage when I was auditioning for the show, and I was auditioning for the understudy of the role that I played for Adam and Felicia. So
Oh,
they weren't seeing me to audition for it because I was still it's really like hard at the time. It was like hard to bust out of the ensemble, especially if you were
yeah.
known for dancing. And I I remember going in and I got cast as the understudy, and I was like so thrilled that I was going to be doing getting to do it. But I
Yeah.
just knew in my gut I was like this part is mine. And they went out to audition people in LA, and they came back to New York. They saw like everyone in New York possible, like all of my friends or all the people that I looked up to at the time. Um, they like went through everybody, and the director was like, same Simon Phillips from Australia. I was like, what if we bring back in that guy that we cast as the understudy? And so my agent called and said they want to see you again. They want you to come back in and re-audition, but this time to play it. And I
That's
I was like, this is it. You have to book. Like you have to go in and you have to like leave it all on the floor. So I really it's probably one of the best auditions of my life. I remember the night before I had a phone call with Jerry Mitchell, who was acting as like a he helped sort of oversee and help them sort of like Americanize the show from when it came
yeah.
over from London, Australia. So, and I knew him at the time. I mean, I still know him, but I'd already had a relationship with him then. So I called him and I was like, what do I need to do to get this part? And he was like, you just need to go in and take it and prove to them. He's like, I think you deserve this. I think it's yours. And I'll never
Yeah.
forget this conversation. He was like, you just need to go in tomorrow and prove to them that this is your part. So he kind of gave me like a boost of confidence that like, all right, he believes in me. I can do this. And um, I had it was like almost out of body. Like I was so prepared for it. I like coached with a director. I had like coached with like the musical director. Like I did everything in my power to try to go in and like really nail it. And it took like a couple weeks for me to find out that I was just like on pins and needles forever. And then my agent at the time had an office in Times Square and like had me come in and surprise me that I got the part. I just remember like sobbing in his office. It's crazy. Um, so then, I was really familiar with the film, and I got a dialect coach and an acting coach and just started working on the script as soon as I could. And I came in with a lot of ideas, and Simon, our director, really just allowed me to play and be silly. And Will Swenson and Tony Sheldon treated me like an equal from day one, which I was really nervous about working with both of them. And I feel like my performance was just a reflection of the bond the three of us shared and the safety that they gave me and the way that they held me and supported me through that process. Like I'll never forget that ever. So yeah, it really was a really special um, recipe of actors, and I'm so that cast. We still keep in touch. Like a lot of us are
That's
still in communication all the time. I worked with Jayleen Marcos, who was in that with me multiple times. We just did Drag the Musical together.
oh yeah.
We did a chorus line together. We're still very close. So it was a special group, a special time, and to do something that was that gay at the time was also like it kind of paved the way for a lot of things. And like looking back, I'm like, wow, it was special. We had like almost a 2 year run in New York at the Palace, one of the biggest theaters, and stuff was still like we got to announce like gay marriage being legalized after the performance one day that had been, it just was really amazing
Like
things were
that's
still
so
developing in this country while we were doing that show. So I have a
that's
lot of like
incredible.
I have a lot of queer actors tell me that they or people in the industry tell me that they saw that show and it inspired them to do this and to pursue it or to come out to be who they are. Like there's a lot of things about that musical that were really special. That's how that came about. But I feel like I pulled like, Sutton Foster with like Thoroughly Modern Millie. She was like originally the understudy and then became really, I was like at the time thinking, oh my God, and like just like Sutton Foster, a story happened to me. So it's
Yes. Wait,
crazy.
that's so cool because I was like, how often does that happen
It
when
doesn't happen a lot. Yeah.
I haven't heard many
And
people.
the casting directors were like fans of mine and supportive and brought me in for a lot of things, but it was always to be in the ensemble and cover. Priscilla changed the trajectory in the sense that like I was then going in for leading roles and auditioning for the parts as opposed to the understudy. You
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean? So it really shifted the way people saw me in the industry and the way I saw myself. And uh, I was auditioning for, it like opened the door to TV and film for me, not just for theater.
Yes.
So it really kind of skyrocketed things for me in a great direction.
Also, I have to ask because I can't leave out Wicked in
Mm,
this conversation before I get into the Woods.
yeah.
So I can't leave out Wicked. When you got Wicked and Fiyero, were you like, what was that reaction like? Because it like I feel like everyone's excited to get it, even if you're like
Yeah.
you and like you're talented. Like, come on,
No,
you're
but
right for this role.
I mean, Wicked is iconic. I love the show. I remember it was just coming out when I was in college, and I went and auditioned for it as a dancer.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, and it was like one of my. That's how I flew to New York on Christmas break. Like I read in backstage they were having like an open equity call for dancers, and so I just like bought a ticket, flew to New York, and I remember I was the only person they kept after that dance audition, and I remember meeting the casting director and meeting the choreographer and the associate and like then being in callbacks for it and I didn't book it. And I was like, thank God I didn't book it then because I probably wouldn't have ended up playing Fiyero. You know what I mean? It's like it happens,
Right.
the moment comes to you when it's supposed to. And so yeah, I was thrilled. I mean, I loved playing that part. It's so much fun. I loved all my witches and my partner was my understudy, so that was also very cool. Um,
Wait, that's so the connections. Like theater is so small. People don't
yeah,
realize, I feel like, because
it
like
really
there's so
is.
many people in this industry, but everyone knows everyone.
Yeah,
Connections are wild.
yeah.
And I feel like when people like mention the most iconic Fieros in Wicked history, your name is always on there somewhere. Like,
Well, it was definitely a career highlight for sure. And that show, the audience goes nuts like at the end, like it's a rock concert. And you know, it's really about the two women, but Fiyero, he's got a song and a duet. It's like he's used
yeah.
very effectively. And so it was sort of like a princess track in that regard, but it was so much fun. Like I had the best time doing that and would do it again in a heartbeat for sure.
Yes. I mean, do you still like sing as long as you're mine if you get
Yeah.
chances? Yeah, any chance you
All the
get.
time. Yeah, I sang my Eden Espinosa is my best friend, and we sing it. We sang it a bunch at concerts and stuff together, which is crazy to me because I was, obsessed with like watching her YouTube videos of her playing Alphabet when I was in college. So that's been really crazy, and I sing like Dancing Through Life all the time at like my own
Yeah.
concert or like if I'm performing at benefits and stuff, I get to sing it. But
Ah,
fun,
iconic.
yeah,
Well, I love how you like how you've like utilized dancing to get where you are now because I'm doing dancing classes right now and it is one of the most challenging skills to pick up dancing in general. Like I'm so impressed with anyone who has learned dance, can dance, can do it professionally.
yeah,
And just like hearing your how you've gone from like dancing in the ensemble to like doing these insane iconic roles in Broadway shows and originating shows is really really fun. Um
thanks.
and I have to get into the woods.
Yeah, we got to talk about Into the Woods.
Yes. So you're currently in Into the Woods at
Yes,
Cape Playhouse as we talked about. And
yes.
what made you excited to join this production?
I mean, I really wanted to play Cinderella's prince and the wolf. I think it's one of my favorite musicals. I think it's damn near perfect. I love Sondheim. I think this is, in like my opinion, like it's my favorite Sondheim musical. And I know I got to work with James Lapine on Falsettos, and so now approaching it again after like working with James and knowing James, it's just like I think I appreciate the writing so much more of the book and like the overlap of the story and the themes, and in addition to the music. I just like it's funny coming back. I did the show in high school. I played the baker in like my senior year. So to come back to it as an adult and, having had lived much more life, you just understand. I think every time you see it, there's a different takeaway from the themes of the show and the understanding of what it's about. And so to approach this now and a different role in it at this time has been such a great challenge. To also mount it in like 10 days of rehearsal is insane. Like I haven't done a summer stock production in years, and I'm literally like, how do I do this? It's so fast.
Into
It's
the
so
Woods
fast.
in today's is
It's
crazy.
not. It's nuts. It's actually like it's such a crazy challenge as an adult to try to do this with my brain. I'm like, okay, we can do it. We got it. Like we're gonna do it in front of people, and it's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
it has, and it's a great. It's like the cast is so good. Everybody is just like top notch and was on it from day one. We all came in like kind of off book and like doing a lot of homework on our own because you don't have time to
Yeah.
really learn. You got to have like a head start with a short process. So um, yeah, I also am excited to be on the Cape for the summer. So at least for 3 weeks, I'm like it's like vacation, and you get to do an amazing musical at night. So um, yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. That's awesome.
Are there a lot of like Boston native, like Massachusetts natives coming?
Yeah,
Or
there's a lot of people that are on Cape Cod for the summer that are coming. There's also a lot of people like friends of the cast that are coming up from the city because they're like, "Oh,
yeah.
this cast is amazing. I want to come see it." But yeah, people from Boston come, and I think they have just like habitual patrons at the Cape that come see shows whenever they're at the Playhouse because they have such great talent that comes and they have really great programming. And
Yep.
it's a really historic. I mean, there's backstage, the walls are covered with the history of actors that have worked there. And
That's
like my dressing room was Margaret Hamilton's dressing room, who's like the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz. Like, so I'm like, how
like
appropriate that I'm but the original Elphaba is like in her dressing room. Um, so it's just wild to look at the history and how many amazing talents have played this space over the past 99 years. And so yeah, I'm happy that I get to be a small part of it. It's
I
really
would
cool.
personally never get over being in Margaret Hamilton's dressing room. Like that would be, I would be insufferable about that forever and ever. And you're also playing like I know it's normal to play Cinderella's parents and the wolf, but like you're playing two different, insanely different characters.
Yeah.
How is that a challenge for you as an actor, or do
I
you just
mean,
like love it?
I love it. I think the wolf is so quick. It's like it's over before I know it, and then I'm
Okay.
into it. But I really wanted to make them two separate characters in the show, aside from just like how they present, how they look. Because
Yeah.
one is a wolf costume and the other is like a prince. But I wanted them to be two separate energies and the voice to be different, and so it's been fun to play and like deal work with our choreographer on it and figure out like how he moves and then the costumes always inform everything from me. Like I can't wait until we get like into tech because then I get to put the costume on and then it's like that next layer of like really locking in to the character comes to life for me. Um, so I've kind of allowed that to like kind of take over. But once I have like these giant like talons, these nasty like wolf claws and fur and like then it really comes
You're
out.
like,
But
I am a wolf.
yeah, yeah. But I was obsessed with it. I had a VHS tape of the original production when I was a kid, and so I would watch that all the time. I loved it so much, and so I always am like in my mind referencing that original cast and like how honoring like how perfect they were and thinking of them. So they were always it's like if you have the source material at hand,
Yeah.
you can always go back to use that as like a framework. But that was sort of helpful for me to get like insight into how to approach these characters and then just play. Like it's just fun. It's so silly. and
Right?
heartfelt. The show is many things. It's really layered, but we get the princes especially get to just be kind of
It's
ridiculous.
silly. Yeah. I love like my favorite, I think, song in the whole show is Agony.
It's
It's
great.
literally like I always crack up during that. And I want to ask, going off like your reference to the film, how do you make the character you're playing your own?
I mean, I think innately just taking something off the page and doing it as each individual will bring something different to it because no two people are the same. So I just brought like a lot of ideas to we did music the first day in rehearsal, and the second day we did a read sing through of the entire show. And on that, like at the table read, I kind of just was like, all right, let me see what gets response in the room. And it's like I I think what's cool about this is it's adults in fairy tales. It's like we're kind of telling these. I mean, they're based on like Grimm fairy tales, so they're dark, but they are like known. Like the Big Bad Wolf is known for like a children's story, and like Prince Charming, and so to kind of be like adults embodying these characters, it gives you sort of this like playful freedom and imagination to kind of take maybe bigger swings and make big choices with it that you maybe wouldn't otherwise. Um, so it's been fun to just sort of like challenge myself to not judge myself as I'm doing it. And so then like the room would like laugh at something. I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta remember what I did there.
Great.
People really like that. Yeah. So and then there's a scene in the second act between the prince and Cinderella where they talk before they
Yeah.
separate. And we just decided like without even talking about it, Delphi and I to just play it honestly. And people have been like coming up to us being like, "Oh my God, that scene between the two of you, we've never seen it done like that before." And it just like really, it has like a really good sense of humanity in it. After we've been, especially for the prince, has been like,
Yeah.
he's so over the top and kind of campy the whole show, and then has this moment of grounded reality. Like he too has also learned something while he's been in the woods about himself and about life. Yeah, it's been really fun to just kind of like find the show as fast as we can and you modify like I'm making new choices every night the way the audience is responding, and it's been it's been fun because you don't have enough time to like settle in a groove because it's so quick. So you're kind of like that makes it fun too because it keeps it fresh every day.
Do you
So
already like dread it ending? Because I feel like it'd be so
yeah,
sad to like,
well, I'm just getting to like the cast
yeah,
is. We went to the beach on Sunday and all together, and I was like looking around at everyone, thinking, "What an incredible group!" I'm this like
it's
this
stacked.
moment in time. I'm just so happy to be with this collective of people because everyone is so offers something so specific and lovely to the group, like energy and the vibe and how much fun we're all having. And I'm like, the fact that we all like choose on our day off to be together and hang out, like it's sad to me already that it's like we're gonna be done in a blink of an eye. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm a little bit bummed about that, but I could definitely stay out here longer if given the
You're like,
opportunity.
you're like, how do we get this cast to do another production of it, this entire cast somewhere
Yeah.
else? Yeah.
Yeah. Which is also like the beauty of it too, because we know it's temporary. And like, I think that's why we're all like really present with each other because we're like, well, this is it. This is all we have. And then we're back to New York, and who knows the next time we'll see each other. And so it is this sort of like special, magical little temporary moment. But such is life.
Well, I feel like the audience, I was talking about this earlier, the audience really is affected by like seeing a cast on stage that has chemistry, and it makes the audience want to like come back and see the show again, take more away
Yeah,
from the show, like leave
absolutely.
just like impacted and loving it. And that's my favorite part about live theater, honestly, is just like seeing the connections on stage that people have obviously made.
Yeah. Yeah, we've made them so fast. I think because the piece is challenging too, it like required all of us to really come and be focused. And, it's like it really is an ensemble piece. Like everyone plays such a valuable factor in it that I think that also kind of like forces you to bond faster. Um, and thank God we don't have any bad apples. It's just like everyone is excited to be here and cares about the show and also about having fun. I think like if we're not having fun, like why are we doing it? Like why are we doing it if it's not a good time?
Exactly.
So
Yes.
so it's nice to like enjoy the show, enjoy the people, and enjoy the beach.
And enjoy the beach. It, I have to ask because as you said, the show is layered, which like I have that on my notes. I'm like, it's a very layered show. Um, and I feel like there's so many good messages in it within lyrics and like lines in the show.
Mm.
What is your favorite quote in Into the Woods?
I love when the witch sings, "Be a child while you can still be a child." It's just like as an adult, it's like we grow up so fast. The world affects us so fast, and you lose that innocence so quickly that I think that's just so beautifully poetic and like poignant and true. It's like I think kids, especially now, like, compared to like when I was growing up, like adolescence is over so quick. Like we lose that sense of wonder and imagination so fast. And there are such like awful things that happen in our world, but like we're almost aware of them too soon. And um, I don't know. That line is like always really stuck with me. I think it's so special. And also, slotted spoons don't hold much soup. I think it's hysterical.
Ooh, wait.
It really makes me laugh every
It's
time.
like all the quick quotes that like are like just like are so incredibly random in the show
Yeah,
get me every time. It's a
yeah.
show like I was talking about this earlier too. It's a show that like you can come back to see multiple times and never be bored of it because like no matter who's in the cast, it's just fun to see
Hmm.
like different portrayals of these characters
Hmm.
throughout throughout history.
Yeah.
And before I wrap up on Into the Woods, I want to ask, how do you make the prince a real human while also bringing that comedy side, that
I
comedic
think
side into
I
him?
think because it's just like an exaggeration of truth. I feel like the princes have an idea, just like I do as an actor, of like how a prince is to behave. And like, he says in the second act, I was raised to be charming, not sincere. And so it's like his idea of what is charming to people. And I think like elevating that so that and also playing him like a little bit unaware.
Yes.
Um, but like my partner came last night and he was like, what you did with it was that it's still like you believed you were playing this character. It wasn't like commenting on the character. And I was like, okay, well, great, mission accomplished then, because I didn't want, like, I want people to understand the prince also. Like, he has this moment where he says, I thought if you were mine that I would be, I thought if you were mine that I would never wish for more. And there's part of me that remains content and as happy as I've ever been, but there's also part of me that continually needs more. And I feel like people can so relate to that of like, you are happy in your life, but there's like this need for something else, or like people. That's why people stray from relationships or from like they're always searching for like the next best thing or to be satisfied, like looking elsewhere. Which I feel like that is such a moment of truth for the character. That's like the whole driving thing of them is they're always coming being like, oh, it's actually better to have this. This is what I want. This is what I want. And I can completely understand that as a human and as like a performer. I'm like, what am I doing? What can I do better that I'm going to do next? Um, but I think like looking at that central moment as like the nucleus of this person and then building around that and sort of like retrofitting, like how do we get there to make
Yeah.
that a big impact? And so that's been nice too in this quick time that we've had for people to mention that moment to me of like, wow, that really hits. So I'm like, okay, great. That's exactly what I had hoped for. And it's really fun to play it. So I think it's like just trying to be honest within the given circumstances of like we're in a fairy tale, but also these are real people with real problems.
Yes. I mean, and also I'm very curious about when it comes to comedy. So, are you the kind of person who's like, I want to make people laugh on
Mhm.
stage? Yeah.
I mean, not like make people break. I don't do that.
You're like, no, I'm not that mean.
I wouldn't intentionally do that just because it doesn't serve the show. But like, I like when I make a choice as an actor in the scene that's like also then the other actors are like, "You're such an idiot." I like when
Yes.
people get like giggled at. I don't try to like make someone go up on their lines or something. But like, there's been moments in the show where I'll say something, I'll deliver something a certain way, and we'll come off stage and they're like, "I barely could keep it in because you're so stupid." That's been
And,
fun.
and you're like, success.
Yeah, yeah,
I've succeeded. Done my
yeah,
job.
yeah.
Um, and I also, is there a Sondheim character that you would love to play someday who you haven't had the chance to play?
Ooh. Well, let me think. That's a tough question because there's so many. The shows are
So many
so
great ones.
great. Um, I mean, I would love to do Bobby and Company someday. That'd be great. I'd have a blast doing that. I auditioned for it once somewhere before, um, and never did it. I didn't book it, but I would love to do that eventually.
Wait, I feel
I
like,
love that show also. It's a great show.
yeah, I'm like
Um,
shocked that you haven't yet. That's crazy to me, but hopefully,
yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
put it out there somewhere.
manifesting that 100%. What advice would you give to young performers who want to build a career and like you have over the years?
Um, I think train as much as you can, and if you can't afford it, like watch as much theater as you can. I think there's the gift of having YouTube. There's so many things that are on YouTube. There's also things, that are like a pro shot that you can watch. And those, I think I didn't have exposure to that when I was growing up, but I luckily like was able to see a lot of theater, even if it was like community theater, just to immerse yourself in it, like to be listening to scores of shows and to, get into acting classes if you can, or there's so many, like even on Instagram, there's like acting studios that are giving you tips and whatever. Just like anything you can find, like I would read plays, listen to musicals, watch musicals, just get as much like info as you can because everybody learns from watching people. You're inspired by performances and you ask yourself like what resonated with me? Why do I feel the way I do? What did they do that made me feel so connected to them or moved? And so I think you can learn a lot from watching. And also try to just like do it for fun because before you know it, it's like it's work and you have to book because you're like, you got to pay your rent, you got to do all these things. So just enjoy it while you can when it's not so serious because it gets serious quickly. And it's also just a career. Like it doesn't always have to be life or death, although it does take discipline. It's like sometimes easy to get caught up in like the stress of it all.
Yes.
So it's good to remind yourself that like I do this because it's fun.
Yep.
Like I often have to remind myself, yeah, you like doing this, so just chill out.
Like it like you're fine. It's like the compare and contrast energy too, because like we have social media sitting right in front of us all the time.
Yes.
And
It's
that's
hard not to it's hard not to compare yourself to others and just know that like you said, I forget what you asked me, but it was like uh you will deliver a performance that's uniquely yours.
yeah.
So there's no way you can actually compare yourself to someone else because it will be different.
You.
And I don't think that I think it's good to aspire. I can look at someone else and say, "Oh, I'm getting like inspired. I want to be doing maybe what they're doing or more," but not like the jealousy is easy to creep in, but it's not healthy. I think it's just like remind yourself you're on your own path and you have your own gifts to share, which is
Yes.
easier said than done, but it's the only way.
100%. I mean, as a fan of all you crazy talented like musical theater people, I just like love how everyone brings something a little different to the industry as a whole.
Yeah. I
And
mean, we have like our understudies are rehearsing today, and they all have to learn all these parts that we're now doing in like such a short amount of time. And I'm like, they'll probably never get to go on because it's such a quick run. But we're gonna go like watch their last run through when they do it next week,
that's
and
exciting.
they're all gonna be completely. It'll be watching like a different show because they're all bringing something unique to it, that the other actors that are playing the roles aren't. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for that to
Oh
come
my gosh.
and watch
And
them.
they're gonna probably have a blast doing it, like
Yeah,
doing the run-throughs. Yeah.
yeah.
And final, well, actually, I want to ask, is there a role that's still on your bucket list after doing so many iconic
Yeah,
roles?
I wanna play the dentist in Little Shop of Horrors. I need to do it. So I'm like, let's just manifest that that's going to be coming up. That show's still
Yeah.
running. I have to do it.
You're like, I must.
And
I
I want to play the king in Hamilton at some point. Um,
yes.
which I think I would eat, and
I think so.
it would be really fun. Um, and I also want to do Drag the Musical in London. I like really hope that it
Yes.
ends up happening, but we'll see.
Yes.
We'll
Oh my
see.
goodness. And I've heard so many good things about that show too. Like I've seen that everywhere.
It was a blast. One of the best times of my career. Like the most fun I've had.
I love like any show that is just like pure fun is so needed in this
It's
world.
important. I know. I agree.
Yeah, it's very needed. Then what where can people follow you on social media to keep up with what you're doing before I get to my last question?
Yes. I think all of my social media handles are at the Nick Adams. So that's easy.
Yeah. And then
That's
I'll put
easy.
everything in the
Yeah.
lower thirds in the
Great.
description. And
Yeah.
finally, is there anything else you'd like to promote? And what would you say to anyone who wants to come and make the trip to Cape Playhouse to see Into the Woods?
Well, I think just come out here. It's a beautiful, beautiful town. You'll have a great time on the Cape. The show is charming. The theater is so charming. You won't regret it. You'll have a lot of fun. And there's a lot of amazing places to eat around here too. I just had the best lobster roll of my life yesterday. So if you're into seafood, you want some theater, um, come out to the Cape and see us at the Playhouse.
Yes.
Yeah,
I should just like knock on my friend who lives in Boston, her door, and be like, I'm coming to Massachusetts. I'm leaving my stuff here and then I'm going to the Cape.
you should do that.
Thanks for watching this episode of Thanks for watching this episode of Backstage with Becca B. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV. Or for more exclusive content from this interview and more, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Backstage with Becca B. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and give me a 5-star rating. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.